To find the distance an object has travelled, we look for the area under its speed-time graph. We have been given an equation for velocity. If we integrate this and find the area under it, we answer our question, what is the distance travelled? So I need to integrate the equation Vt between the limits 0 to 10. And so integrating from 0 to 10 of 5 brackets 4 minus 3e to the negative 0.2t, 20 minus 15e to the negative 0.2t, and we substitute in our limits, answer 135.15. Differential equations are a very common sort of question. This one takes a bit of thinking about. The first part is we've got to form our equation from the statement, the rate is proportional to the square root of the volume. And that's what I've put down in that blue box there. dV dt is the rate of the leak, and equals k square root v takes care of the proportional to square root volume. And our question, how long will it take to empty? How long till the volume equals 0? The first step in solving the differential equation is to separate the variables to each side. So dv over square root v and k dt. Now to go from there, we're going to integrate each side. And to integrate v to the negative half, increase power, divide by the power, so we get 2 times v to the positive a half, and k is a constant, so it just becomes k times t. Our answer to that integration, 2 square root v equals kt plus c. To work out our constant c, we need to go back to the question, and there was that sentence there, the tank holds 2,500 litres of water. So at time 0, it's full, t equals 0, v equals 2,500. And when we substitute that in, t equals 0, so kt is 0, and we get c equals 100. Putting our value of c equals 100 into the equation, we still have to work out the constant k. When we go back to the question, we have that sentence above. 2 days after the leak started, 475 litres of water have leaked out. The volume is not 475 when t is 2. The volume was the 2,500 it started at, minus the 475 is leaked, leaving a volume of 2,025. So if I substitute t equals 2 and a volume of 2,025 into my differential equation, I can now work out k. So I've worked out the constants c and k, and this becomes my differential equation for that question. We're trying to find the volume, we're trying to find the time when the volume is 0, and so substituting in the volume of 0, solving again, t equals 20. Now we're trying to find the value of k in question 2c that separates the area exactly in half. So area A from 0 to k is a half of the complete area from 0 to pi. And so integrating the left-hand side, the integral of sine is negative cos. And remember that if we were differentiating, we'd multiply by the half. The x over 2 gives a half. Well, but I'm integrating, I'm going to divide by that half, or in effect, multiply. Integrating sine x over 2 gives negative 2 cos x over 2. So for the left-hand side, the limits are 0 to k, and for the right-hand side, the limits are 0 to pi. Now I can't work out the left-hand side yet, but I can work out that right-hand side. And so to work out this right-hand side, we put the pi and the 0 in as our limits, and we get a half of 2. Right-hand side comes down to equal just 1. And so I now have to put this left-hand side equal to the 1. When we're working this out, remember cos of 0 is 1. So the negative 2 cos 0 over 2, or just negative 2 cos 0, becomes negative 2. And continuing to simplify, minus negative 2 or plus 2, I subtract from each side, and I'm coming down to negative 2 cos k over 2 equals negative. Now you've got to think back to when we did our trigonometry internal. If cos k over 2 equals a half, inverse cos of each side, k over 2 equals 60 degrees, and hence k is 120. Degrees or radians, it doesn't matter as long as we're consistent through our question. And question 2D is another differential equation. The first step again is to separate the variables, so y is on one side and x is on the other, and then to integrate each side. So this is just a standard approach to all our differential equations. Separate the variables, integrate, and now I have an equation with a plus c in it, and I've got to look back to the question to find some numbers to put in for c, or to calculate c. We're told y equals 5 when x equals 4, and so using those values, I can work out c equals 9, or my actual equation, y squared equals 2x to the 3 over 2 plus 9. Now that's not the end of the question. The question said find the value of y when x equals 9. So my last step will be to put x equals 9 into my equation at the end there. And when x equals 9, we solve and get y squared equals square root 63. And I've put over there in the blue box why it's positive 63 only.